Hey guys, so for today's video I created two fall eyeshadow looks using my eyeshadow palette with Sigma. I love how both of these eye looks turned out, and they both turned out pretty matte, so if you like a matte eyeshadow look, you'll probably love these. So if you want to see how I got these two eye looks, go ahead and keep on watching. So I went ahead and primed my eyes with the Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer. I'm going to start with the shade Zinfandel on a Sigma E54, and I'm going to pack this shade all over my lid. So when I was creating my palette and picking out the shades and everything, I really wanted my palette to launch in fall because I personally think it's a beautiful fall palette, but we ended up launching the palette in June, which is totally fine with me, but I'm so excited that it's fall now so I can create some beautiful fall autumnal looks with my palette. So with this Zinfandel shade, I am building it up to get it nice and opaque. I've been mentioning this a lot in my videos recently where I'm really trying to relax my face, and that makes me bring up my shadow a little bit higher because I want you to be able to see this kind of crease area when my face is relaxed, right? And that is like the most helpful tip I can give you if you have hooded eyes or slightly hooded eyes like I do. And on the same brush, I'm gonna bring this shade along my lower lash line. I really want this Zinfandel shade to be the focus of this look, and I always like to connect my shadow right out here on the outer part of my eye, so my lower lash line and crease and lid are all connected. Okay, so now I have the general shape of my eyeshadow laid out. Don't worry, I'm not gonna leave it like this. And I'm gonna take a small firm blending brush. This is a Sigma E42, and I'm gonna start to blend out the edges of Zinfandel. And this is going to help soften the shape of the shadow so it's not too harsh looking. Now I'm going to take a small crease brush. This is a Sigma E27 in the shade Basic. And I'm just going to add that into the crease. Again, this is also going to help soften Zinfandel. And I'm also going to run Basic along the edge of my lower lash line. I'm gonna go back in and touch up Zinfandel on any areas that got blended out too much. But I am also focusing a lot of this shadow on the lid because I kind of want the shade to be deepest at my lid and then slowly blend outwards as it goes up. And I'm also touching that up along my lower lash line. And to be totally honest, Zinfandel is kind of a tricky shade to work with. I found that any shades that have any kind of purple or like reddish tone in them are just in general harder to work with and blend out. But it is totally achievable. You just gotta have a little bit more patience and some small blending brushes like these to really soften out the edges. So I'm still trying to decide if I want to do a wing or something with this liner, but I do know what I want to do in my inner corner. I'm going to take Hollywood on a pencil brush. This is a Sigma E30, and I'm going to pop this on my inner corner. And like I said, Zinfandel is the focus of this look, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to do something a little bit different in the inner corner than my typical bright shade that I would normally put here. And I feel like this shade is just perfect for fall with the gold undertone that it has. It does have a tiny bit of green in it as well. Now that I added that, I think I do want to do a wing. I feel like that would kind of make it look a little grungy in a way. I'm going to take the NYX Epic Ink liner, and sorry if my camera loses focus. And I like to start by drawing a line from the outer part of my eye outwards. And then I like to go slightly below the end of that line and draw a diagonal line connecting to my lash line. And then I fill in that triangle. And then once that triangle is filled in, I draw a line along my lash line, which is the easiest part in my opinion. I'm going to take the Haus Labs Gel Kohl Liner in Punk and run that across my waterline. And then I'm just going to take the tip of my E54 and smudge out that black. I went ahead and finished up this look off camera, so I did add a little bit of bright right under my brow for a highlight, and then I did stamp a little bit of black eyeshadow on top of that line on my lash line I made. I just like the little bit of smokiness that extra black added. And then of course I popped on some lashes, and I'm wearing the Bright Lashes Daydream. And here is this eye look all done. I love how this turned out. I love that Zinfandel is totally the focus of this look, but the pop of Hollywood in the inner corner is so pretty. I love these colors for fall and how smoky and almost kind of grungy this eye look is. Now let's move on to the second look. So with this look, I'm going to start with Evermore on a BK Beauty A501. So I have that shade on the tip of my brush like that, and I'm going to pack that on my inner lid. And I am trying to stay more on the inner third of my lid because I want to put 3 shades to make a little gradient. I'm just kind of pressing down this brush and then moving it in little circular motions to kind of soften it out. I'm going to build that up a little bit more. Now I'm going to pick up Basic on that same brush. I'm going to place that right in my inner corner, kind of where I normally highlight like I did on that eye, just to really blend out this edge of Evermore, but also kind of lighten this inner area. Again, on the same brush, I'm going to pick up Schmoogala, and I picked up that shade the exact same way on the tip of my brush, and I'm going to pack that in the center of my lid. And I do want to overlap that with the Evermore shade. And then once I have less product on this brush, I'm kind of softening this edge. I'm going to go back in and touch up Evermore, kind of right where these two overlap. I'm going to take my Sigma switch to get a lot of the pigment off of this brush because I have used only this one brush for this whole look so far. And for my darkest shade, I'm going to pick up Cold Brew. And you probably guessed it correctly, the shade is going on the outer part of my lid. I'm also going to bring Cold Brew along the outer part of my lower lash line. And just like with the first look, I'm kind of wrapping this shade around the outer part of my eye. Now I'm going to take a small blending brush. Again, this is a Sigma E27. I'm just going to soften out this outer line. I did lay down a little bit of Schmoogala to help blend out Cold Brew, just right out here on the outer part. Now I'm going to take a little bit more Schmoogala and touch up that shade in the center of my lid since I did do a lot of blending. You can always add and touch up shadow. It's just hard to take away shadow. Now for this lower inner part of my eye, I have a couple things like I'm thinking of. I could bring that orange Evermore shade down in here, or I'm thinking the shade Autumn for a little pop. I think I'm leaning towards Autumn, so I'm going to take that on a pencil brush. This is a Sigma E30, and I am going to dampen my brush, and I'm going to pop that right on that blank part of my lower lash line. Okay, that is super pretty. I love that pop that just gave. Now I'm just gonna very softly blend right below that. Now I'm gonna pick up the shade Bright, and that's gonna go in my very inner corner. I'm also gonna bring Bright right under my brow. I went ahead and finished up this eye look. Again, I stamped some black shadow along my top lash line, and then for my lashes, I'm just wearing a half lash, and I'm wearing the Bright Lashes Flutter. I love how this look turned out with all of the matte shades in the gradient, especially Evermore, because that's just a perfect orange for fall, and then I love the pop of Autumn down there in the inner corner. I had so much fun creating these 2 fall eyeshadow looks for you today using my eyeshadow palette with Sigma. I would love to know which look you like better. I think I prefer this Zinfandel one just because I love how smoky it is, and I think this kind of wine cranberry shade is so pretty for fall. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.